up, you guys? It's Lexi DIY and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna be starting on my budget kitchen renovation. So we are going to be taking out 2 walls in our kitchen and therefore completely reconfiguring it. However, we can't stand to look at it the way that it is right now because it was just really gross and dirty and super old and it just didn't feel like our space. So what we're gonna be doing is doing a super tight budget renovation, and I'm not sure if this is gonna be 2 or 3 parts, but today we're gonna be focusing on the countertop and kind of the painting of everything. So anyway, do all the things, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit that bell notification so that you never miss when I upload next, and make sure that you're following me on all my other social medias. If you stay till the end of the video, I'm actually gonna talk about if you want a sneak peek, because I'm going to be going live tonight on TikTok, so I'll give you more details about that because you're going to get to see the cabinets and the flooring if you come over to that live, so I'd love to have you there, but I'm going to drop details about that at the end, and without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop into it. So we're starting off where we left off last video, and I'm putting plastic over the cabinets and the countertop just so that I'm not getting any paint or, you know, dust or whatever on them, which I am going to be cleaning them really good and then, you know, fixing them to not look like they're looking right now. But I just used some painter's tape to secure it down. Please don't mind my crazy faces. Like, I don't know what kind of faces I'm making when I'm doing this stuff. I went ahead and I wiped down the window after I sanded it just to make sure that there was nothing left on there. And now I'm using a primer. Now, generally, I don't really use primers because I feel like they don't really work, but I was like, you know what, let's give it a go, and I think it helped for the walls. I don't think it helped for the window, so I gave everything 1 coat of primer. Also, I'm not taping off the switches and outlets because I'm going to be changing those out, so as long as I'm not like painting them on, it'll be fine. Now I'm giving the window a coat of primer. Like I said, I don't think this really helped. Maybe it's just the primer. Also, so sorry that the lighting keeps changing. One of you guys had told me how to fix this, but I had actually already filmed this beforehand, so I apologize. I'm gonna try to do better about the lighting situation, but you know, the sun likes to change what it's doing throughout the time lapse, so that's my bad. Anyway, then I went ahead and painted the top where the light was, and this was really like yucky and stuff because it had that little veneer on it before, so I primed that, and then I'm going over everything with, well, the walls with a coat or 2 coats of bare solid opal in just like a flat white. We had already had this, so because we have basically painted our entire house this color, so that didn't cost us any extra money, which is great. That's one thing that I can really stress is keep all of your old paint, and you can use it for projects, and paint is like the cheapest way to transform something, so definitely do that. I used a brush to cut in on the corners and just a roller to do the rest of it. Now this quickly turned into me painting my entire kitchen, which was not the plan. Frankly, I was not going to do this door because we're taking this out when we do the big demolition, but I'm like, you know what, I can't halfway do this. So we're painting around everything, and then I went ahead and painted a little soffit up here. These soffits are also going, and the kitchen is getting an entirely new layout, but frankly, I don't really know when we're going to be able to afford that, which is why I wanted to do this like Band-Aid budget renovation, because I can't keep looking at my kitchen like this. It doesn't feel like mine. Okay, back to painting the windows. I had to do like 2 or 3 coats on top of the primer, and sorry I'm in my sports bra and I got paint everywhere because it was really hot this day. It was like 90 degrees in our house, and our AC is very old and it's not really cutting it. I'm hoping that it just survives and that we don't have to replace it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's something we have to do soon. Anyway, so a lot of people ask me how I am careful not to paint the window shut. Frankly, I'm not. I just go back with an X-Acto knife and score in between, and then you're good to open your windows. So don't worry too much about that if you get a little too much paint in between. Now I'm doing a coat of primer on the molding around the door, and then I did it on the door itself. Now normally I would paint spray all of this with my Wagner Control Pro 130, which would have been way quicker, way easier. But here's the thing. It was really hot outside. Like I said, it was like 90, and I would have had to open the windows to like ventilate everything, and our AC is not good. So I knew that our dogs were gonna be struggling, and so were we. It was gonna be so hot in the house, so I just did it with a roller. And then I uncovered everything, and I went ahead and gave the sink a really deep clean, because we've been like painting and doing so many DIY projects that there was just a bunch of paint left over in the sink. I'm using my Scrub Daddy at first, and I love this thing, but it wasn't quite like coarse enough to get the paint off, so me and Dustin switched to these wire brushes. So I was going at it for a little while, and then my arms were getting tired, and so Dustin stepped in and went ahead and finished the sink. It looks so much better now. We are going to be getting a new sink at some point, but like I said, I'm not really sure what the kitchen layout's gonna be, how big of a sink we want, but I'm thinking a black sink, so let me know what you guys think about that. Now, we're about to move on to the countertops. One of my followers on TikTok had saw my peel and stick tile video for the laundry room, and they used the peel and stick tiles for their backsplash, and that gave me this idea that, hey, I can use these for the countertop and run it up as like a continuous backsplash, which is the look that I'm going for when we do our big remodel. So I thought this was a great time to kind of try that out. I spent hours trying to line the molding up, because I wanted the tiles up, because I wanted to make sure that the veining looked nice and that it looked continuous. That was definitely worth it. And then I'm just taking a hairdryer to kind of like heat up the adhesive on the back. That wasn't actually really necessary for these because they were really sticky. Like I had to peel some up if I got them down, if I put them down incorrectly, but yeah. Anyway, so you can do the hairdryer or not the hairdryer. It just depends on how long you want to keep it there. I'm not keeping these here for too much longer, probably just a few months, hopefully. But yeah, and then I'm just like scoring it with an X-Acto knife and cutting the edge off. I would measure twice before you cut because I messed up quite a few of these tiles and then I was really mad at myself. So yeah, just double check on cutting them before you do it because you don't want to mess up like me. Anyway, so now, you know, I'm basically just doing the same thing. And don't worry, the edge looks real busted there, but we're going to be covering that up. Do your best, caulk the rest. So, just words to live by. Now I'm doing the other side. For this side, I did not use the hairdryer. Like I said, it was a bajillion degrees outside and I was not having it. Also, you saw that I messed that one up, had to peel it off, but it's all good. It's all good. And then for the back, I don't even think I filmed it, but I cut tiny pieces to go in the back, and you won't really notice. So here I'm putting down some blue painter's tape, and I'm cutting it with my X-Acto knife, basically so that I can use it as a template for some sticky tiles that are gonna go there. So I just put the painter's tape over it, and it was longer than one, so I cut off the excess, and I'm gonna do that on another one. And then I just scored it, snapped it off, and that was actually a really easy way to get basically a perfect fit. So highly recommend. Make sure you're not cutting directly on the tiles that you just put down, like put another tile backing down or like a cutting mat or something, because you will scratch up the tiles and you don't really want to do that. So yeah, I just did that and then I placed them onto the countertop in front of the sink. Now I will be doing the edge banding. That's going to be in another video and I can't show you because I want you guys to be surprised about the cabinets, and that's going to be next week's video. So at the end, you'll see edge banding on it, but you're not going to see me do it here. I will explain that more in depth in another video. Now we are moving on to the backsplash. So like I said, we changed out all of the outlets, and we did that off camera. Frankly, it was hot, we were tired, and you guys have seen me change outlets. Me and Dustin change outlets just like a million times. So I finished off the countertop, and then I kind of sketched out around, and it was just kind of like a rough sketch, and I cut that little piece of tile out. Now I cut it too small, but you'd rather cut it too small than too big. That way you can kind of go back and just take a little bit off at a time. I'm also using those little like wire cutters just to peel out those things. They're harder to snap. You don't want to like snap the entire tile because then you're going to ruin it. You just want to snap that cut out. So it's easier if you have like some pliers or something to do that instead of with your hands, because trust me, I messed up a few tiles doing that. And then basically I'm just using my X-Acto knife to kind of like take some more off at a time. And finally, after I had gotten it to fit, I went ahead and peeled off the backing and then just stuck it up. Now, I did go back and put some caulking behind it to like help it stick a little bit more. And then I put the new faceplate on over top. Also, keep in mind, our electricity was off while I was touching the outlet. So, just a heads up. Now, it was time to take all of the painter's tape off the window. I had to score every single thing, because if not, it was going to peel up some of the paint, and I had just spent hours and hours painting this window. Didn't want that to happen. But look how much more open this kitchen already looks just with this window being painted white, you guys. Like, totally obsessed with it. Now I am taking out our old faucet. Dustin is under there like trying to make sure that all of the wiring and like hosing is good, and I took it out through the top. You can see that's really disgusting. And then we took out our little sprayer too, and we actually replaced it with a glass rinser and a new faucet. I didn't really film any of that, but I did want to show you guys that you can plug up these holes. So if you're looking to go from a 3-hole faucet to a single-hole faucet, they have these little hole plugs at any hardware store really, and they were only like $3 each. So it's gonna give me that more modern look without having to replace the sink yet. Now, I am using caulking that is like waterproof and white to go ahead and fill in the seams. You could totally also use white grout, or even if you wanted to, gray grout, but they didn't have any white vinyl tile grout when I was at Lowe's the first day, so I just went ahead and caulked it instead. I probably would have preferred to do it with grout if I'm being honest. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But basically this is gonna seal everything up, and so that you can't really see those lines between the tiles, which you can definitely see right now behind the sink where it's caulked and where it's not. And I wanted to keep that in to show you so that you could see like the major difference it makes. But here is the before. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. And here is the after. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of this video. I'm wondering what you guys think of it. Also, sorry there weren't too many before and after shots. I have already done the cabinets, but that is for a whole separate video. And the flooring is coming as well. So the big reveal will either be in 1 or 2 videos. I'm gonna try to put it all into one video, but I'm just not quite sure how it's gonna work out. Also, I'm going live on TikTok tonight, probably around 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The link to my TikTok is down in the description below, and I'm gonna be going live and grouting the peel and stick vinyl tile floors that I did in my laundry room. I've carried them all the way through to the kitchen. So if you want a sneak peek on the cabinets and the flooring, make sure to hop on that live tonight because it's gonna be really fun. Last time I did this, we had like 55,000 people in the live at once, and it was a big community and we're having so much fun. Also, make sure if you want to write me. I have a P.O. box now. Everything is linked down in the description, as well as my Amazon, which I do make a small commission if you purchase something from there, so no pressure at all, but if you want to see what I'm using, it's generally linked down there. If you guys have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments, and until next time, bye!